Thank you for joining us for the 2-minute drill. I'm Aram Legion, joined on my right by Steve Ramirez, and behind the camera, Fred J. Robledo.
Mighty Mustangs.
Yeah, this is a big one. It still is a big one. It's kind of sad to a degree here that there's really not playoffs on the line here unless something fluky happens. The Turkey Tussle at the Rose Bowl on Friday night. Muir 3-6 overall, 3-3 in league against Pasadena 4-5 overall, 2-4 in league. Like I said, both these teams likely to be home for the playoffs.
Well, do they have any chance of getting in? I mean, there's not going to be a wild card. Or
I don't want to be Miguel here and say no and then the
Remember
yes.
that?
You know, right? Yeah. So here's the situation. Burroughs is basically locked up at least a share of the league championship. They play Burbank. Both those teams are going to be in. Crescenta Valley and Arcadia are both 4-2. The winner of that game will go to 5-2. They'll be in. Now you're talking fourth place. Well, the winner of that game, if Muir wins and Arcadia loses, they're both 4-3 fighting for that fourth place spot. Arcadia beat Muir. If it's CV that's 4-3 and Muir's 4-3, CV beat, Muir beat, CV beat Muir. So
they don't have a chance.
They don't really have a chance, Fred. I guess crazier things happen.
And in the Pacific League, you only get 3 guaranteed.
Yes. Three guaranteed, and then that at large, and we're talking
at large is going to the Angeles League, or one of the other leagues.
So, but you never want to say never, and the reason why is because Eric Sondheimer kind of alluded to this on his Twitter account. You never know who's going to come out of the woodwork in Week 10 with the whole you don't live at this address thing, and all of a sudden the team forfeits 8 games, and whatever. So. In the newspaper business, we don't.
I think this game is super. This game is intriguing, though, Aaron. Look, neither one of these teams are probably going to the playoffs, like you said. There's not going to be any championship, so this is it. This is again, this is their championship. They played at the Rose Bowl. There's always a big crowd. There'll be a lot of those Muir PHS people at Mijadas before the game. Their annual little tailgating experiment over there.
How do you just pronounce Mijares?
Mijadas.
That's the real.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. Yeah.
Did you hear me? I'm like Mijares.
Gracias.
Mijares. And it should be pronounced Mijares because Freddie, that is really Americanized Mexican food. Ain't nothing legit about that.
Whatever. It's
ground beef.
You've eaten there, right? It's great.
I eat there all the time, but I'd rather have more authentica.
Okay. But here we go. Here's the game. Pasadena. I mean, it's been 20 years since they beaten Muir. The last time was 1995.
Yeah.
Before that, the last win was 1985. Yeah. 85. It's been like they've won 1 game in 40 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look.
30 years.
That's sad for Pasadena.
1 game in 30 years. They've got to win this game.
That's sad for PHS in itself. But what's really sad is the overall picture is this is one of the most talented areas of Southern California, and maybe that makes it one of the more top 50 talented areas in the country even. Pasadena, California, and your 2 big public schools, neither one's going to the playoffs. And it's not like you're in D1. You're in the Southeast Division. Neither one is going to the playoffs. You know how sick that is, Stevie? How sick that is? I'm not saying all the talent.
It's even sicker than that. When you think of the public schools in Pasadena, Marshall's going nowhere. They're terrible. Blair's going nowhere. They're terrible. And now Muir and PHS.
Well, these are the 2 biggest public schools.
I know, but I'm just saying, how could all of them be bad? You know why? Because all those nearby privates are getting pretty good.
Yes, Freddie, they're getting poached. We know that, but still, they're not in an undoable division. It's so it really bums me out because Muir should be in the playoffs every year, and they're a lot of fun when they're in there. And the other coaches hate to play them because A, they don't like playing at Muir if they have to, and B, Muir's always dangerous because of speed.
And I don't know what happened to Muir, because Muir to me should be like a Long Beach Poly in this area where everyone who plays football, whether you have a PHS address, a Marshall address, a Blair address, you should be going to Muir because it has the history, because it's been there before. I mean, that's, going back to the Jim Brownfield days. I'm just shocked that they don't have those players on all of Pasadena that go there and make it special. The way Poly dominates their area. I mean, if you live in the Long Beach Wilson, Milliken, I don't care, whatever those other schools are in the Moore League. You play football, you go to Long Beach Poly. You play sports, you go to Long Beach Poly. I'm surprised it's not like that in this area. I mean, they're losing it to more and more, whether it's now Maranatha, whether it's LaSalle up the street, St. Francis now, or they go out a little further west out to Alamany. I mean, that's where they're going now. Cathedral is going to start to get some players. I mean, that's where they're at now. I mean,
Cathedral, Loyola. I mean, you look at some of the studs on Loyola this year. Those are Pasadena kids.
You're going to get to a point where
it's disappointing.
Yeah. Muir and PHS may even drop out. You know, maybe at some point they got to drop out of that league and come down to the Rio Hondo.
Oh God, I really hope you're wrong. But you know what?
It's sad.
If you're talking about fixing it, let me just say this: it starts at home. It really does. You know, football programs to thrive need community support, and community support that puts pressure on administrators to not let the football program slip. That really has fallen off at Muir, and they don't have that. And it starts at home. And if the community doesn't let the football program slip, then it doesn't slip, you know, or it has a hard time slipping. And it's sad because, like I said, I mean, you watch Oregon and you see Vernon Adams kicking butt for Oregon. That's a Pasadena kid, but he went to Alamany. You know, you see these things all over the place, and it's like, man, you know.
It's too bad because, you know, Muir, PHS, PHS is finally playing at home again with a nice new field. You know, Muir's got their new field.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond that, Aram, and we've said this over the years in this discussion. People, players, you know, leaving Muir for greener pastures or Pasadena. It starts with the people who run the schools in Pasadena having to make that a place, a destination place for kids that want to go there. And I've always just thought the people who run Pasadena, the school board people, their kids are in private schools. So that tells you how much they care about the public schools. They don't have a vested interest in it the way a San Marino board would have over them or a South Pass board would have over them. They don't have, I mean, that's just been the way it is for the last several years.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see more of this. And it's a shame. You're right. This game isn't for a league championship. This game isn't even really for a league playoff spot.
No.
We're down basically to pride in a Rose Bowl game. And I'll tell you what, if it keeps getting bad like this, you wonder if the Rose Bowl will pull the plug on this game someday. Because it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, that's, oh man, if that, oh boy.
That would be the ultimate.
That would be really disappointing.
I
hope none of us are working here when that happens, if that happens. But as far as this year's game goes, all right, you know, everyone wants to paint the picture that, hey, you know, PHS is good enough to end the streak here and turn the tables on these guys. I agree. I think they are good enough. I think this game's going to be very, very close. PHS arguably has the best player on the field in Tyreek Adams, their receiver. PHS, I like what Doogie Bledsoe, the head coach, is doing there. Doug Bledsoe, he's got this thing kind of like I mentioned this when they played Arcadia, a Big Ten type science. They really play it conservative on offense. They try and play defense, and at times this season they have done that. They slow things down, but they're not explosive enough. And I still think Muir owns the explosive factor. I got a good game here, but I got Muir pulling it out.
Yeah, I mean, in past years, I think Muir had that explosiveness. You know, where they could put 30 points on you in a hurry. I'm not sure they have that this year. So I'm going with PHS.
Wow.
They're going to make enough
PHS.
plays.
Stevie picks PHS, all right.
I'm going to go Happy Days and Fonzie on you. Remember the Fonzie episode way back when he couldn't say z, sorry, z, z. Well, I can't say p, I can't say I can't say those letters or those words in a game against Muir just because I've never seen it happen. Not in all the time I've been covering it. So it's Muir, not. I can't say it. I just can't get the words out.
All right, so Freddie and I have Muir.
Plus, you wouldn't be invited to Thanksgiving dinner at your dad's.
Yeah,
this is true. My mom and dad both graduated at Muir. That's my disclaimer.
There you go. I hope they have fun on Friday night. Stevie's got PHS in the mild upset. Get out there and enjoy it. It's still a turkey tussle.